Hello and welcome back to the TorontoWebsiteDeveloper.com. I am Peter Jaworski, the Toronto Website Developer, and in this 6th video tutorial on an introduction to Drupal 8, I want to show you how we can set up our own image styles. Because we'll be creating a premium image store to sell, we're going to create different versions of the image and obviously make the full image private so that only purchasers can download it. But before I do that, you'll notice I'm over at my website, TorontoWebsiteDeveloper.com. Here you can purchase my series as I complete them. They're conveniently located on the right here, and each is only $19.99. The more you buy, the more you save. Alternatively, if you can't afford the $20 but do want to help out, please just leave this tutorial a thumbs up or a comment. Both are greatly appreciated, and I use the feedback in order to know what to continue to produce. So with all that said, why don't we head back to our sandbox site, and you'll see that I've gone ahead and I've created 3 different images. I've got Susie with a toy, Bailey up close, Susie's eyes closed. And in Drupal 8, we have the common river of news, which is the same across Drupal 6 and Drupal 7. But here, interestingly enough, this is a view, and I can actually edit this view. So if you're wondering where this is coming from, it's by default, and it's part of views, which we'll be taking a look at in the next tutorial. But if I click on Susie with her toy, here you can see the premium image, and it's a full image, and it's blown up. And that's not exactly what we want. What we want to have is a little thumbnail there so people know what they're buying, and then they can get the full image after. So in order for us to do that, we're going to go to configuration, and you'll see I've got this nice drop down, and this is coming from video tutorial number 5, where we installed the admin menu toolbar or something like that. But if you're curious where that is, just take a look at that video tutorial. And so here under configuration media, you'll see that I've got image styles. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that, and you'll see that we get 3 by default. We get large, medium, and thumbnail. And what these actually mean is when you upload an image, Drupal will scale it to these sizes, to 480 by 480, 220 by 220, 100 by 100, depending upon the first request. So when somebody views a page and it happens to be the first time that anyone's viewing that page, it will then create that image scaled down. And so what we want to do is add our own image style for the purposes of this tutorial. And so I'm going to call this desaturated small. Let's call it thumbnail. Okay. And then you'll see here, as I mentioned before, we now have a machine name. So this tells us that something is going to happen in the database, and it's going to be using this name, desaturated thumbnail. So I could always edit that if I want to, but I'm fine with the automatic name that's created. We go ahead and create a new style. And here I have the ability to add effects. And so typically what you'll end up doing is cropping or scaling and cropping together. You might convert it as well. But what we want to do is we want to take all the color out of the image and then scale it down so that people can't just take our thumbnails and use them wherever. So we're going to desaturate it. And you'll see we get a nice black and white photo for the thumbnail effect. And then what we want to do is scale this down. So we're going to scale. And the width we'll scale it to 150. And we don't want to allow upscaling, but you could, so that I submitted something that was less than 150, say 100 by 100, it will blow it up. But obviously that would ruin the image, and I don't know why we would have a small image on our premium images site. So we've got these 2 different effects that are going to happen, and so we can go ahead, just update style. So changes have been saved, so now we have this new image style. So that's great, but how do we use it? We're going to go back to structure, we're going to go to content types, and you'll see here premium image. And if I click on this, I can go to manage display. And you'll see under manage display, I've got default and I've got teaser. And so these are 2 different view types or displays that we could be using. And so default is what we're going to be using. It's what's used by default. And so you'll see here that we've got a label for premium image, and then we've got the format for the image, and it's showing the original image. So what I want to do is I actually want to customize this. I want to remove the label, so I'm just going to hidden. And then this is actually new in Drupal 8. You can actually choose visually hidden or hidden. Visually hidden will still render the label in CSS and just not show it. Hidden will actually not render it at all. So format, we're going to keep it as image, and then we're going to click on this little gear down here. And so for the gear, you can see that we got this image style and we've got none. It's showing the original. Now we can see that we've got desaturated thumbnail. So I'm going to click on that guy, and we can actually link the image to something. I'm not going to link it to anything because we don't want users to be able to do that on our site, but you have the ability to if you were doing something different. Go ahead and update this. And now, just before we go take a look at what has happened when we check out our site, I'm going to show you where these images live. So I'm in D8 Sandbox, which is our Drupal site. And if you remember from tutorial 4, we created our own private directory, which is outside of the Drupal root. So I'm going to go up one and then go into private. And so in private, you'll see that I have premium image and I have styles. And so if we look at styles, you can see that there's just thumbnail right now. And if I go back up and go into premium images, you can see here are the 3 images that I've created. And if we do an /LA, you can see the sizes here. They're pretty big images. And so if I go into styles, this is the directory that's created by Drupal, which holds all of our generated images, our cached images. And so if we go into thumbnail, you can see that there's a private directory again, and you can see that there's premium image again. Oops. And you'll see that I have 3. We have 3 different thumbnails there. And so let's come back up and we'll stay in styles. And we're going to click save. So now if we click on Susie with her toy, you'll see that we get a desaturated thumbnail here, which is great. And there's no ability for a user to get to the full image. So now if we check our directory and we ls here, you can see not only do we have thumbnail, we also got desaturated thumbnail, which was created. And as you can probably guess, we go into private, premium, there's only 1 image. Now when I go to the other 2, really up close, you'll see it takes an extra second because it's creating the image. And then if I go to Susie's eyes closed, extra second creates the image. And if we look at our directory, we now have 3 images. So that's how we create new image styles in our site. Remember, configuration, media, image styles, same as Drupal 7 for the most part. The only thing to really note that's different between Drupal 7 and Drupal 8 here with what we were doing was under the manage display, remember you can choose visually hidden or actually hidden, but beyond that, everything's pretty much the same. Rivers News is now a view. In the next video tutorial, we'll take a look at how we actually update this and perhaps create our own view page. But until then, if this video tutorial helped you, please leave a thumbs up or a comment. Greatly appreciated. Hopefully we'll see you for the next tutorial. Thanks very much for watching.